Give a big round of the hand. Give a big round. Give a big round. Give a big round. Give a big round. Give a big round of the hand. Give a big round. Give a big round. Big round. Give a big round. Give a big.
We could have homes on separate coasts, go dive in Greece with squids. Could have been so bleeping rich, but instead we had kids. They won't smile for a photo, they won't eat the food we choose. That's why we're heading to the Parents' Lounge to drown ourselves in booze. Every day we're more exhausted, we haven't slept in years. They hit me in the nuts so bad, my eyes filled up with tears. And yes, we'd like to fake our death and go off of the grids, but the truth is we are softies and we truly love our kids. So join us every Tuesday night to laugh at all our pain. Evening in the Parents' Lounge is the cure to staying sane. To a very special Thursday night edition of the Parents' Lounge. Jamie Kayla with Jason Gowan and Justin Ruppel, who seems to be muted at the moment.
Is that Justin Ruppel or Bret Hart?
It's Bret Hart.
It is not Bret Hart. I prefer Jose Canseco. I'm going with Jose Canseco. Okay?
I love it. I love it. Maybe a little Shaun White. In case I don't want to scare anybody, it's not Tuesday. It's Thursday. And we do this occasionally. We throw up a rando Thursday live, and it's February 1st. So all of you who are dealing with dry January, I got news for you. That's over. So you're more than welcome to grab a cocktail and join us. A little parental mental health Thursday, as we call it. We I had some crazy stuff happen today, as did Jason and Justin. We were talking, and we were like, we should go live and just chat about it. And so our guest tonight is you, the audience. We have posted, Jason. We posted.
Oh, we have 37 following or 37 watchers on my Instagram. So
amazing. Cool. Hi, mine too is. It's so funny. We're going out crazy places. So if you want to come into the show, we've done this before. Sometimes it goes horribly awry, and we have a quick eject button.
Justin, here's the link for you to post to your Instagram.
Sometimes it's absolute gold. So we're going to post the link to the Parents' Lounge on Facebook. Is that where it's going, Jason?
Yeah, it's going out on Facebook. I will post it also to YouTube so that everybody can see the link.
Yeah,
I also come posted it directly into the screen.
If we see you pop into the green room, we'll try to find a convenient moment to bring you in. But only come in if you have something to chat about. Don't come in and just go balls to the wall and then get out. But we're going to talk about raising
balls
kids.
To the wall and get out.
I mean, somebody, people like when they walk behind a reporter. I always love the guys. It's like some poor woman's trying to do or guy doing like a sideline sports reporter. I just talked to the coaches, and he says he really wants to go hard in the second half, and then some dude like pops over the shoulder and goes, Dee!
Hey, do you remember those sketches with Jim Carrey on what was it called? In Living Color? Where he was in the background of like a
my God, they're some of my favorite Jim Carrey sketches ever.
I think honestly, sometimes that's probably the best I've ever seen him do. Was those sketches where it was like we're live at the White House right now where the Democrats and Republicans are meeting behind the scenes. And then Jim Carrey just walk up and he'd kind of like spot the camera. And then he'd walk back across doing like ape stuff and just like falling backwards and hanging off of the ceiling and stuff. It was, it's meant for kids.
Well,
or at least, it sure felt like
here's the dilemma with comedy nowadays is back in those days, it was a parody because it happened rarely, right? Like things back in those days happened rarely and we would make fun of it. And everyone goes, oh my God, that does happen. Now that has happened so many times, right? that joke is almost beaten to death. Like, it's like during the pandemic when the one dude was trying to be on CNN and his kid was crawling behind him or something, and he was trying to do a legit interview, and that went viral, and that guy gets a book deal, and all of a sudden he's off and running off of some.
He got a book deal.
I'm sure he did. I'm sure everyone who goes viral. I think viral is actually, this is true. Viral is Latin for book deal. A lot of people don't know that. That's where the word viral, the word viral came from. That has nothing to do with viruses. It's about book deals and stuff. So.
Interesting.
The reason I wanted to kind of chat today is because I'm super. It was a frustrating day because for those of you who are parents, you know that by February 1st, you need to have every day of your summer basically logged in and scheduled, because camp, you have to schedule camp, dude. So here's what happens. There's a camp. I don't want to say the name of it. I like it very much. They're good people. We'll probably end up getting in, but they send out an email a month ago that says, hey, listen, camp registration is February 1st at noon sharp. It was like ticket sales for Taylor Swift, like and I had the code, the pre-code to get in. So we all set alarms. All the parents set alarms, and I didn't sleep great last night. We were pondering like camps all for the whole summer. And then at noon, I log into the account. I try to type in their information as fast as possible and choose the weeks of camps that they're going to. And then I hit, submit to cart. And then it just starts turning and turning. And it was like getting Ticketmaster when you're like, when you're on, it just.
Except it's sad Ticketmaster. Are they like.
It was sad Ticketmaster.
Like, do the kids want to go to this?
The kids love it. Yeah. It's basically, it's daycare, but it's a camp where it's not the greatest camp in the world. It's basically daycare where one day they play kickball, in the afternoon they play tennis. They sit around a lot. They probably do like, Simon Says or whatever. But it's basically people who work during the summer. They drop the kid off at 8 and they pick the kid up at 4:30. And that kid is totally sunburned and, run ragged.
Sometimes I don't even go back for Jace. I just leave him.
Oh my God,
I remember doing those, but they were all based around sports. Is that not the case anymore?
So this one it's called a sports camp, and it is
just real general with it. The sports.
It's just camp. Wouldn't it be funny if they just showed up and they go, "Today we're gambling.
Sports
we're
camp.
We're going to the horse races."
And
the kid comes home with like kid goes, "I lost $2,000," and the parents like, "What happened?" He goes, "We went to the ponies. I had a good feeling, but it didn't pay off." And you're like, what happened? It's sports camp, Dad. It's sports camp. I was at sports camp. Anyway, I sign in at noon. By 12:02, I'm already waitlisted. Dude, I'm not joking. I'm waitlisted at 12:02. I just posted something on Instagram earlier today, like, what is happening? Every other person said the exact same thing of like, dude, waitlisted. You told me to log in at noon. What is happening? Couldn't get in. I just don't remember that happening when I was a kid. If you wanted to go to camp, they were like, yeah, there's plenty of room, man. You could call, like, I think my parents could have called like the night before and said, hey, we're dropping them off in the morning. And people would have been like, yeah, that's fine. But
I think that's because parents caught on to this whole camp idea. When I was a kid,
and also the accessibility is there and very quick now. You don't have to call on the phone. A lot of people didn't want to wait on the phone. And this
Something tells me you're not on the cool list, Jamie.
Wait, what are you talking about? I'm the cool guy list.
I know you're the coolest guy I know, but here's the thing. Somebody's not on the wait list, man.
Somebody's not on the wait list.
But Jamie, didn't you get blacklisted from some of the lunch tables?
A lot of ins and outs, man. I've been the dude has been blacklisted, not welcome back to many a day camp, man.
But I'm sure that I remember, didn't the dude wasn't he a camp counselor for a while?
He was, man, but the bureaucracy is a real nightmare, man. It's a son of a bitch. Wasn't expecting that.
Well, I know that you're very good at archery, and I remember you taught archery at the camp.
Yeah. I'll tell you, you gotta like an eagle, man, but not to be confused with the Eagles, man.
Sure. Yeah, you don't want to.
That's a crap band, And
I thought you meant the Philadelphia. I thought you meant the sports team. God, there's a lot of Eagles.
Well, now I happen to be personal close friends with the Kelsey family.
Mm-hmm.
So
Sure.
the dude says fly, eagles fly.
Sure.
But not Don Henley because he doesn't know how to string together chords, man.
No, but he's still
No.
stuck. He's stuck in the age of the innocent. So,
Uh-huh.
what are you gonna do? And I mean, the guy's a desperado. What are you gonna,
Well,
peer-
tell him to come out. Tell him to come in. He's been out riding fences for too long now, man.
dude. So let your long hair fall and just lay down, and something happens. I forget how Age of Innocence goes, but honestly, this brings us to maybe the most cutting topic for parents to talk about nowadays. I love that they're like, oh my God, how's Taylor Swift going to be at the Super Bowl? She's in Tokyo the night before, and I was like, she's a jillionaire. If she wanted to, she could probably just have someone drill a hole through the earth to Las Vegas and take a tunnel.
Well, I think
train.
she's already done that.
No, dude. I'm so confused by why people are. Dude, she finishes the show. She jumps in a helicopter she could probably buy her own Concorde jet and fly the speed of sound to. I mean, listen,
It's
I have
true.
no
They're-
problems with the
they're not
relationship.
taking
You used
consideration
to
the fact that she
be
probably
gone,
still
and
has
you
the
used to be
content.
gone the same day and come back for shows when you toured with Larry, right?
Sure.
And Angle?
Yeah, we'd fly back that night.
One of our fans on my Instagram asked if we're all doing this podcast from the same basement.
I wish.
Yep. There are three
It would be
separate
it would be really funny if we like the 70s show where the camera spins around. I wanted to do
Yeah.
that originally. We are in three totally different that's the beauty of StreamYard, and we love StreamYard because it
Three different
allows
cities,
us
baby.
to bring people in. Does anyone else want to wait? I can't wait. Here's what's funny. Most people go, I wish I could. Can I get on the show? Can I get on the show? And then we post the link. People are terrified. Nobody comes in. Because I will tell you, if you come into the show, you're on the clock. And you better come guns blazing with a story, not be a terrible speaker. You better be charming and witty, and then we'll let you hang. And otherwise, boop, you get the bootski. JG, how was your day today?
Well, my youngest terror, unbeknownst to us, smuggled his mother's lip gloss in the car, and we didn't notice that he had it.
Okay.
And he went a full Picasso on his face, just very avant-garde. There's not a future in makeup artistry for him. Knows nothing about contouring, knows nothing about blending.
Okay.
He just looked like a burn victim, like a sparkly, glittery burn victim.
What's funny? That was Peter Criss's original makeup for Kiss was going to be a horrible burn victim, and then he went back to the star over his eye. And I think
so. You're saying Dark Lord could turn this around?
Oh, dude, he's got Bowie written all over him. Ziggy Stardust for sure.
Enrico, good to see you, man, from Ontario. I just posted the link in Instagram, everybody. You should be getting some requests here shortly.
It would be hilarious if people pop in. Well,
Katie, come join us if you want.
You're more than welcome to the StreamYard link is the way to get in, everybody. The StreamYard link that I
So here's what happened yesterday too, dude. I wake up, it's like 4:30 in the morning. This is I don't know what's happening, but I wake up at 4:30. I'm wide awake. And the first thought in my head is those bananas are super ripe and I need to make banana bread.
Hold on. Can I tell your story as Liam Neeson?
If you don't, I'll be seriously hurt. And go.
It was 4:30 in the morning, and I was awoken from my sleep. I'll tell you, I was not a happy person. I stumbled downstairs, and I thought to myself, the same thought that every man has at 4:30 in the morning. It's time for some banana bread. I went into the fridge, and it turns out that my young daughters, they said that we will definitely finish those bananas. They were not finished.
No, they weren't.
Which made for very manashi bananas.
Mm-hmm.
Manashi is the way I say it, not mashed. Manashi, like my grandchildren.
Manashi is the Irish way of saying it.
Right,
The manashi. Yeah.
Now we've got very ripened manashi bananas.
Mm-hmm.
And I am up
3 of
there
them.
for 3 of them. One for each girl in my life.
I typically like to put 4 in. I like to go with 4 bananas, but these were very big. They were large bananas, so I
Of course
only
they
used,
were.
yeah.
You have a very large banana.
I do. For an Irishman, especially, I
Sure.
specialize in large bananas. So I had 3 large bananas, and it was 4:30 in the morning. And what are you gonna do with a really ripe banana at 4:30 in the morning?
I'll tell you what you're going to do. You're going to make banana bread.
I made banana bread. So I got up early and I made banana breads. And I thought in the back of my head, as a parent, I'm thinking to myself, Liam, I'm saying, this is the kind of father I want to be. I want my kids to wake up to the smell of fresh banana bread. I even added chocolate chips. It's not in the recipe.
Oh,
Not in the recipe, but I made an audible at the line of scrimmage. I changed the
unbelievably
plays.
lucky. Right.
Boom, I throw chocolate chips in, and I think these kids, they're going to wake up, their head's going to explode. They're going to come out, they're going to dance around, and they're going to sing like it's HR Puffin stuff in the room.
It's
And
steal from a comic that we shall no longer name. They
Right.
will sing a song. Daddy's great. Give me banana cake.
Exactly. And honestly, that's what I expected. But of course, I make the banana bread, which, by the way, takes a good hour to bake. I had to get up
time for banana bread. Right.
Is there any left, Jamie?
Yeah, and Winnie definitely loves banana bread. I have given and Winnie, I've shipped Winnie a couple of loaves.
Ever since you talked about it, I've had rumblings in my tummy.
Yeah, it's pretty delicious.
So
I finally make it. Here's what's crazy. My one kid gets up. She gets up super early. She wakes up at like 5 and she goes, "What's happening out here?" And I go, "I'm making banana bread." And so she wants to eat it. I go, it's going to take another hour. I just put it in the oven. It's going to take an hour and stuff. So she's being a pain in the ass. So I let her use her iPad.
Right.
Mistake. It's always a mistake anytime you decide to let your child use an iPad, just know you're a terrible parent.
Jamie, is there any left?
Yeah, I have some. I have some scraps I'm going to send you.
Could you fax it to me, please?
I don't know if you know how faxes work, Winnie, but no, you cannot fax banana bread.
I'm a stuffed bear, Jamie. I
could
don't
probably
know.
You know what I could do?
Fax works.
I could 3D print it. I could probably 3D print some banana bread for you, but you'd have to. It depends what you'd use for the.
They have those edible ones now.
I love it. He came right out of Winnie. He's like, "Hold on, I'm not joking about this one. This is dead serious. They have edible.
You hit my nerve.
You can 3D print food." So the one kid gets up at 5, and I'm trying to. Listen, when you're a parent, Justin, here's what you do. When you get up early and you have an hour before you know your kids are going to get up, Jason, arguably the greatest hour of your day. You'll make a cup of coffee, you'll sit down, you'll watch, some crazy show that you couldn't really watch in front of other people. You have an hour to yourself, the kids, everyone's asleep and stuff. And so when she wakes up, she kind of F's my day. She wrecks my day.
Right.
And they take such great joy in it.
Oh, they take the same joy that Alan Rickman took in Die Hard when he thought he had suits.
Have the detonators. Yippee-ki-yay.
He doesn't even have banana bread. He just went straight to the detonators. Oh,
we have banana detonators.
Well, here's what's interesting that you just said that, because occasionally I don't have kids, but the way I relate to you guys is that I have 2 partners, and in that they're not children, but they are 2 people in which you're like, I have to come up with a way of talking directly to them about a problem I'm having, right? Sure. Like, for example, if I'm going out of town, if I've been in town for a long time, I've found out it's good to go out of town because they'll miss me. And that helps. So when you're saying like, oh, I really like that hour before they get up. Yeah, that's the hour where, that's your time. But every morning is that hour for me, all morning.
Yeah, because you don't get up till 9:30 or 10. What I'm saying is when people go, oh, we should go out for happy hour. I go,
I love you and I hate you.
My happy hour is 4 a.m. Like, that's my happy hour. Like when we go to bars, they go, hey, it's happy hour. I go, it's not happy hour. Happy hour for me is 4 a.m. to 5:30. Right, Katie. Katie knows the girls love that hour before. Oh, when you're up and it's pitch dark in the house and you're sipping coffee and well, come on. What time did you get up today? 9:30, 10? I'm not joking. Justin,
Hey, we got one of my one of the people on my live feed said, Jamie, can you do any impressions? Because they've heard two of ours, Jason and myself. Do you do any impressions? You do impressions, yes?
oh man, I crush them. Yeah. Well, who
I
do you
know.
want to hear? I do everybody, anybody, and everybody. Give me one, anything. Watch, I'll crush it.
I'd like to hear your Pacino.
Yeah.
Hoo-ah! You got your head. Open it. Right? Spot on. Honestly, a lot of times when Pacino shoots films, they'll call me and they go, "Hey, listen, man, Pacino, he doesn't like the way his voice sounds. He wants you to do it," and I'll nail it. Jamie only does Jamie.
Jamie does Jamie, yeah.
And also Conan O'Brien.
I do
and
Conan
once in a while,
O'Brien, Jay Leno. And I'll do any dickhead from Boston who's at a
That's
Dunkin'
true.
Donuts.
That's true. No, hold on.
Gonna,
yeah, you do.
You
do a very good. You do a good Conan and a good Leno.
So anyway, and I do Eisenhower. Honestly, that's crazy. I didn't know he knew I do Eisenhower. I do a lot of yeah. I like Ike,
hold on,
and that's me.
One of my followers just said Mark Wahlberg. You could do Mark Wahlberg. Just
you know what's funny? I did the banana bread thing today. Yeah. And in the middle of it, I go, I put chocolate chips in there because that's the kind of dad I am. I'm a good dad. I put chocolate chips.
That's
and
it?
when I watched it back, I was like, holy, how has nobody commented that I'm doing Mark Wahlberg on the back?
You are.
Okay, so to your friend who's watching or your fan who's watching you, so I never really did impressions, but since you and I and Jason have been doing this show together, I'll start doing stuff. I go, hey, if someone will go, you're doing Jeff Goldblum, I go, I'm doing Justin Ruppel doing Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah.
Mine is also doing Justin Ruppel doing Mark Wahlberg. And so, yeah, which is the way most people do impressions, really.
Every impression is a game of telephone, right? So it's just who we're originally copying. And sometimes it's a race to get the good one out, right? Like the other day I was looking to perfect a new comedy impression because I love comedy impressions. My favorite one, Bill Burr versus Mark Wahlberg. Dude, that's funny.
I kind of do Burr only because we're two redheaded guys in our 50s from Boston.
Yeah. You know the key to doing Burr? Just finish on the way up.
All the way.
Right?
What are you doing? He always goes up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, that's funny. Well, with a little Mark Wahlberg. That's funny.
Dude, I'm not going to do that.
Hey. I was doing that today. I go, I put chocolate chips in my banana bread because I love my kids so much. And he goes, pray out or something. He always goes.
That was the Burr impression that he did when he was on the train and he heard that woman getting assaulted. And he's, ow, you're hurting my neck.
How are you? My favorite, the best clip ever of him. One of my favorite. Dude, I used to see him long. He was like, I loved REM before anybody loved REM. Like I was that guy. I was like, and then people started like REM. I was like, you don't know anything about REM. I had the repeat, gardening at night and boxcars, carnival of sorts, whatever. I feel that way about Burr a little bit, where I was such a fan early. And now he's so huge that I go, it's almost like, yes, he's so blindingly funny.
I had a great moment. I had a great moment with him. I think I told this on the show once. Did I tell you my little story with him?
No.
I was backstage with him. He's like the first big comic I ever hosted for. And when I went up on stage afterwards, and I shook his hand, he was very nice. And then afterwards I was like, hey, do you mind signing one of these menus for my mom? And he's like, dude, what you want me to say? And I said, could you say the Container Store bit, some parts from the Container Store bit? And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
He goes, I don't even know how that goes.
And I was like, the bit from your HBO half-hour special. It's the one that my mom and I were just like in love with. And he's like,
no idea.
And he goes, dude, I have no idea what you're talking about. And I was like, all right. And he goes, you're Mr. Impressions. You got up there, you did impressions. Let's hear your impression. And so I started doing his Container Store bit. And he's just like, and he's writing, right?
That's funny.
And I give it to my mom, but right as he gives it to me, he goes, "Don't you open that. That's for your mother."
That's
Right?
so funny.
And then
That's so
this
funny.
day I give it to her for her birthday, and she opens it and she starts crying. And I was like, "What does it say?" And he says, "It said, Charmaine, which is my mom's name. Charmaine, let's go to the Container Store someday. By the way, your son will be famous too." And Bill Burr. And
Aw,
it was
that's pretty
like
sweet.
2005,
That's so
2006.
funny.
And so like when he was still working on the punch in the muffins bit, like
Punching the muffins.
I'm punching. I'm trying to explain it to my wife like an idiot.
One time I think I know. So I used to get scripts and get them signed by the cast that I
Oh, yeah.
worked on for my
That'd be cool.
I did one for my sister. She was getting married. Oh, we got somebody popping in. And I did the whole cast of Will and Grace. Said, "Hey, have a great wedding. Have a great wedding" for my sister. She framed it. And then one time I was getting I just was getting headshots back in the day. And at the headshot place, there was a stack of Harrison Ford photos. And so I just took one and signed it myself to Lauren from Harrison Ford. And I think it's still framed on her wall. And it was not Harrison Ford signing it whatsoever. We lost Ruppel? Because my guess is Taylor's in here, but he's a buddy with Ruppel. Let me, while Ruppel's trying to pull his stuff together, Jason, so my daughter was up at 5, right? While I'm making banana bread. And
why was she up at 5?
She jumped up for some crazy reason. And so she was just up. Something happened. Before we let Taylor in, I'm going to finish this and we'll bring Taylor in. My daughter she just woke up and got up. They do this. And so she gets up, she wrecks my morning. The whole morning she's like, "Is the banana bread ready?" I go, "Look at the timer. It's like 30 still minutes." And then I had to take it out. I had to let it cool and everything. It takes forever. So I let her use her iPad so I can have my peace and quiet. So long story short, my other daughter gets up, who's only 8, and she sees the other daughter with the iPad. And she's like, What? She got to use the iPad in the morning? Like lost her mind. So she goes, "Can I use my iPad?" I go, No more iPads anymore. She goes, "What? If you get up early, you get to use your iPad?" I go, "Well, it was just a random thing." The very next day, I'm not exaggerating, Claire, the 8-year-old, gets up at 3:00 in the morning. She got up at 3:00 in the morning, woke up everyone in the house, got totally dressed, went to the kitchen, ate breakfast. She was done by 3:45, and then she came. She goes, "I'm totally ready for school. Can I have my iPad?"
No.
I know. She came upstairs, woke me up. She goes, "I'm ready for school. Can I have my iPad?" It's 3:45 in the morning. And I go, no, you can't. And she was just aghast. Like she had this maniacal plan in her head of like, if I get up early and get ready, I'm going to get my iPad. It's 3:45 in the morning. So I said no.
Dude.
And so she went downstairs and she read in her bed for a little bit. And then she came back up and I finally got up at like 4:30, 5:00 and we watched some TV. And I said, I can't. The problem is if I give you the iPad, you're going to do this every day. You're going to start getting up at 2:00 in the morning. I can't have it. You cannot. You can't get up early to do that.
Jamie, she just needs to hit a sneaky Sasquatch before school.
That's exactly what she needs.
Just to hit.
Right. Dr. Ruppel, is this your pal coming in?
It is my boy. It's got to be. It's got to be my boy Taylor.
Click him in.
Oh, snap. There he is.
How are y'all doing? Hey, Jamie. Hey, Jason.
Hey, Taylor.
What's up?
Thank you for having the courage to take us up on this. And
He got courage.
Oh, yeah.
The question is, does he have kids?
I'm on the way with kid. That's why I've been enjoying your podcast immensely as I get prepared for fatherhood. My wife and I are going to be having our first come this May. So we're
let me give you a little.
You're the perfect guest then, Taylor.
Let me give you a good intro like we're on a proper cast here.
Yeah, do it right.
Man stepping in here. All right. Boys, I was a cruise ship comic for a long time. Hail the cruise ships. I love the cruise ships. But the only reason I'm even able to survive the cruise ships is the very first long stint I went on the cruise ships. I was on a cruise ship, and I'm not going to say which one, but it rhymes with Bolland Barbarica.
Okay.
Okay.
No idea what that is, but sure. That's
Good.
I think we all got it. I think we all
Good.
got it.
Anyway, so
Disney Dream, got it.
So I understand you were out on a cruise ship.
thanks, Jay. Yeah, as a matter of fact, it was. And here's what, back in the day, they only allowed you to do like long stints. And I did 12 weeks aboard this cruise ship. And that was enough. Right. And what I didn't know is that all these people aboard these ships were doing it for much longer. And so I'm there like day 5. I've got no cannabis. All right. I'm completely dry. I'm without anybody. My wife's at home.
Oh my God. You okay? Jesus.
Well, this face here that you're seeing in the camera here, every morning would show up at my cabin door and be like, "Good morning. Hi. It's worth waking up for. I promise you. We're in Alaska. Let's get up. Let's have some coffee. Let's talk some fun." We'd do voices and stuff. He's very talented with the impressions as well.
Oh.
Ones that I don't do, as a matter of fact.
Taylor, were you one of the other comics?
No,
I was the cruise director on the ship. So
Shut up.
Wow.
first time I met Justin,
Julie. Were you Julie,
Yeah.
the cruise director? That's amazing.
I was, but hairier legs. No, it was just funny because I had met him yet. So like part of my job was to introduce the acts every night. And so I only met Justin the first time before I was introducing him backstage. So I was like, "Hey, so how do you like to be introduced?" All this stuff. And he was like, "Oh, do impressions." Like, "Oh, I do one." So I busted out an impression. And then before he went on stage, or like when I came back after introducing him, he's like, "We're going to be best friends." And then that was
Well, here's why I knew we were going to be here's where I knew we were going to be best friends, right?
Yes.
All right, you guys know how much I love a deep cut. You know what I mean? Like, I love a great, a good solid Pacino and a good solid Walken as much as the rest guy. But he did Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh dear, did he?
Right. Here, Taylor, give Mrs. Doubtfire. What's it like in Pennsylvania right now?
Let's ask Mrs. Doubtfire about the fact that she's going to have a new child to take care of in May.
Oh, yes. What about that?
You must be very excited, Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh dear, Jamie, certainly. Oh, I thought it was decades ago when I was a parent, and I'm a parent again. Oh, it's going to be pattering again with the wee little. There's going to be throw up everywhere, dear. It's going to look like The Exorcist with less. But I can't wait to stay up those restless nights. I come here. I should have gone to my therapist or my parents, but here I'm on the podcast to get advice from you three.
Well, I don't know what we can advise you on, Mrs. Doubtfire, because to be honest with you, nobody knows more about raising children than you do.
Oh, certainly, Jamie, dear. I've been padding the resume here. I've been watching all these new shows, dear. We had Sesame Street back in the day, dear, and a string with a rope and a ball. It was nuts. And I've got this Bluey and Duck McStuffins. I can't keep up with it, dear. It's just give him the iPad and I'll have a drink.
Well, my guess is if Taylor can do Mrs. Doubtfire, he can certainly do William Wallace as a parent from Braveheart. I feel like he's in the Scottish zone of that. I mean, to be fair, William Wallace is a parent because all he keeps screaming is "Give me my freedom!" I mean, if that's not every parent,
You come to fight as free men, and free men you are.
You remember the day when you
today?
can your
That's
bed
great. Wait, go ahead, Taylor. What's that again?
when you can go back to your bed and sleep for more than 3 hours. Tell the tale to your grandchildren. Because one shanks will not tolerate that.
And if you die here today, even better. Even better.
We don't.
Then it's all over.
But years from now, if you're gonna be in the old folks' home and you're crapping in your own pants, just remember, your own children will not take care of you.
You chose to have sex.
That's fat.
Which, by the way, means that Taylor also does a great Shrek as a parent.
Well, like seriously, Jamie, it's not a great problem, to be a parent. I had the donkey had my ass. He's going.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. I am not a child. I will not be treated as a child. All right?
Donkey, I told you 5 times to clean up after yourself, and then you had Fiona blame that on me. That was you. That was you.
Well, I'll tell you something, Shrek. I put a rug out in front of the house that says smile, and you are neither using that rug nor smiling. So,
all right, can I let me here's what happens, only because I know how things happen in marriages. Because Shrek is very happy with Fiona until they get married and have the kid. And once they have the kid, they start to fight, and all of a sudden Donkey and Fiona are having a little they're having a little affair on the side that Shrek has no idea about.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. Donkey does not do DMs, all right? He does not slip into any DMs.
Donkey slips into Fiona. It's DM for sure.
Oh, wow.
I've been to Mexico. I've seen a donkey show. Please, I know how donkey. Wait, donkey too far with the donkey show. Listen. It's like parenting. It goes dark very quickly. It goes
donkey, Tijuana, the land of far, far away.
The comments of Jamie Canley do not reflect.
I always think of The Godfather, where Fredo goes, "Oh, he used to bring me down here all the time," and the dude has the cape. Yeah. He pulls out he has a cape, and they're at a sex show in Cuba. Yeah. And he's like, "Oh," and that's how Michael knows. That's why he kills Fredo. Oh, it's all about a donkey show. It broke my heart by going to the donkey show.
Oh, Charlie, thank you for the compliments about our impressions. We love you very much. You are very kind.
So funny. Yes. Well, he's obviously got a good Gerard Butler then as well, doesn't he? Does he do 300, Taylor?
Hold on. I'm saving Taylor. You're making him mix all the Scottish. They're all the same.
I've just gone right down the Scottish because you
So what's your poison, Taylor? What's your favorite impressions to do?
Right.
I would say Doubtfire's one. I've always been partial to Christopher Walken because that was always like one that I just felt my range. My wife doesn't like it. I was doing it too much, and she says, "You've done it too much." I was like, "I haven't done it for 3 years been together," and then I decided to do it for 30 minutes straight, and that was enough.
Do you talk in bed like that? Is that why are you like, you're enjoying this?
I was crazy. You're naked. I'm excited. Can't you tell? No, I realized quite quickly if I did that, I probably wouldn't be married much longer. So I just, because I remember before I got married years ago, that's probably why it took me so long to get married, because I was a Star Wars nerd. So I was like, it'd be great if I just did the Wookiee like right before. And like I said, don't do that. I just be like, like, oh, no, you can leave. So
I know.
Yeah. But a lot of it with Justin is just quoting. We would just quote little like stuff.
Well, that's why wives hate us together, is because we are two idiots who have seen, those guys who have watched a movie once and have it memorized. You know what I mean?
Dude, I pitched a show years ago where the guys talked, every line in the show was a movie quote. Like they just tried to line up where people like, still to this day, my wife will walk by. I'll be laying in bed watching like a movie I've seen a million times, like Casino or something. And she'll be like, "You watching this again?" I go, Yeah. Yes. Why do you care? Why like if she's playing like an album, should I go like, "Oh, you listen to Fleetwood Mac again? Haven't you heard this before?" Yeah.
No,
it calms me. It's
absolutely. It is a trauma reducing mechanism.
It's art. Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, hold on. What show do you put on, Jason? Is there a show you put on that you're just kind of like calms you down?
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
That's a good one. Nice.
That's a good one. See, because there's callbacks and characters that you like. They change, but they're the same, right?
Yeah.
What's a movie, Jason, that you've seen I have a handful where if it's on, I go, ugh, there's 2 hours. Yeah. I can't stop it. Taylor, do you have one?
Ghostbusters is one for me.
It's a good one.
Let's see what else. The Whole 9 Yards is that way.
Oh, yes.
Love that movie.
That's rando. What a rando pick. I wouldn't have seen that.
I love that one.
Is it cold in your house, Justin?
Very cold.
It's freezing. It's crazy.
It's icy.
It's crazy. Listen, it's cold.
Taylor, what's your go-to movie? Like if you're
I mean,
flying around,
obviously, it's Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh,
it's
great
still
one,
a great
too.
movie. I haven't seen that in a long time.
I would say a couple other ones. It's funny. I think Forrest Gump is one of those ones that I get. That's on TV or someone's playing
So
that.
many
I just
times.
sit there.
So many times.
And one that's a random one to me that I don't know. I love all of them because there's so many. Obviously really bad or really good. But Kindergarten Cop is one that I just go back and often watch. And I just
It's not a tumor. It's not a tumor.
Right.
It's I don't know
Girls
why.
have penises, boys have vaginas.
It's not a tumor.
I think I got that
Oh,
backwards.
you are. You're older than I thought you were. All right, so I'll give you a rando one. My latest one's Sicario. I swear to God, every time Sicario's on, I can't stop watching it. I must have a sickness for both of those.
Let
Sicario
me tell you the best salve for everybody. Because once I say it, you're all going to be like, well, yeah. This movie will put me right back into the right place, because most times when we're watching those movies and that comes on and you just have to sit and watch it, it's because you're in a rut. This kicks me out of the rut every time. Groundhog's Day.
Not even quite. Absolutely. It's one of my favorite comedies of all time. I actually wanted to do the math. I saw an interview where he said 10,000. It was 10,000 days he lived.
10,000 days.
That's what they did in the movie. That's
tomorrow's Groundhog Day.
That's what they said, that it was 10,000 days that it would take that long to learn the piano and everything and do all the stuff that he does. But I think Bill Murray not being recognized for Best
Larry,
Actor.
in 3, 2, 1.
It's
Groundhog's Day again.
It's so good. It's so brilliant. I've seen so many different interviews about it, and they sat down. Reitman said, he goes, all right, where will this go? And they just sat, because, dude, he kills himself. It's dark over and over and over again, and he can't get this girl to fall in love with him. I think it's one of the most brilliant films ever made.
Well, here's what's so we're all going to bat this back and forth, but here's what I think is so amazing about it is that he doesn't even realize that love is the way out until later on. He doesn't even give the full faith effort. He's just trying to jump her bones for a little bit before he even starts. He keeps getting rejected. He's not trying to actually fall in love. He's just sweet vermouth on the rocks with a twist. He's just memorizing her crap. He's doing the same
Baudelaire.
tricks.
He does the French poetry.
I love it. He's like, what a waste of time. I mean, for someone else to be complete waste of time.
Yeah. Here's my take on it. And I think it's so prevalent in every society. And by the way, Taylor, for like a married couple and who's about to have a child, I think this is the most important thing. And I talk to my wife about it because I'm a little bit older than my wife. So I'm always like, I kind of went through the phase. She's going in like a midlife thing or whatever. But I think the trick is he doesn't need to get her to fall in love with him. He needs to love himself.
Yeah.
And once he loves himself, because I tell my wife, I go, look, and I tell this to everyone, you can't, it's like people would be like holding on to somebody saying, I want you to love me so bad. And you can't think that way. You have to go, I love me and everything about me. And if you don't want to be part of what I'm doing, then that's your vision. Everyone, people say,
you just blew my mind apart.
Everybody dies alone. You're
a
on
lot
your
of
own.
people have said that it's like an allegory for like religion, I
didn't hear
it was
that.
Buddhism or something, but it was all about self-love and like he needs to accept all his flaws and everything like that.
I think that way in everything in life, to go like, look, man, you're on your own journey. I'll tell you a little parenting story for 2 seconds I was at the school the other day, and my kid was up on the second story, and I guess her friend said to Hannah, my daughter, she goes, your dad's bald spot's getting big, because she was looking down, and I don't really, I guess, I think it's getting more gray than whatever.
Yeah, it's that. Yeah, it's not.
My daughter came home and she told me that. And I'm an actor. I haven't had human emotions that have been able to be hurt in a long time because they've been so pummeled for so many years. And for one fleeting moment, I was like,
she gotcha.
Fuck that kid. Like, I was kind of like taken aback of like, wow. But it took me a second to compose myself to go, oh yeah, I guess I don't care. And I don't. But it stuck with me just a bit of like a 10-year-old kid kind of hurt my feelings
down.
a little bit.
Well, it hurts
And-
more. It hurts more from the kids because you know they don't have a filter, so they're trying.
But I had also reached this point of comfortability in my life where what we're talking about with Bill Murray in that movie is like, you always want people to like you, to like you, to like you, to like you, to like you. But the trick is, like yourself, man. As soon as you like yourself, you don't give a shit about that other stuff. And as soon as you do that, you can move on with your life.
It's such an interesting point because you really nailed it, and I want to continue to beat this horse because you're right. The day that she does fall in love with him is the
Deborah
day.
King says it right. You have
Yeah.
to love yourself before you. And I say that to
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah, but the day she falls in love with him is the day that he was like, "Hey, bye everybody," and then
Yes.
he went to go do everything else.
Yeah.
He
Yeah, they
couldn't
don't even
care
sleep
less
together.
about her that
They
day.
don't even sleep together that night.
Right.
No.
And then when when she pays for him and he's like, I got to give you a good night. Then he carves the ice sculpture and she's like, I could do your face a million lifetimes. And he's like, look, this is now just, I know what's going to happen. So it's going to be another day. And so because he's like, I've got other shit I have to do. You're right. Jamie.
By the way,
nailed it.
I tear up when he says that.
Yep.
I've seen your face so many times.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
I could do it with my eyes closed. Yeah.
He should have been nominated. I don't even think he was nominated. I
Well,
feel the same way about Tom Cruise in Edge of Tomorrow
Mhm.
because he kind of has a similar thing with Emily Blunt where he's like, I've watched you die 1,000 times. He's madly in love with her and he can't get it
that
out.
trope is, if you use it right, it's really good. Like, do you guys ever see Palm Springs with Andy Samberg? They did a similar thing with that.
I didn't see it. No,
I didn't see that one.
Good.
I think it's on Hulu, and it's worth checking out because that was like, it has the same sort of premise. It's a little more wacky or nuttier, but it still
Right.
has that kind of. And I was really impressed. It's like, okay, but yeah, no, I agree with you. It's so beautiful.
Those are really the great stuff is the Trojan horsing of a story. You know what I mean? Like at the end, you're going, I didn't see that coming, and now the lesson is such a sweep from under the legs that you're like, beautiful. That's my favorite.
Well, the whole key is the character arc of like this guy becomes this amazing person through this journey. But yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, Groundhog Day is fantastic. So my recent one, I don't know if you guys have ever seen Sexy Beast.
Oh, you told me to watch
I
it.
Heard.
Ben Kingsley, Ray
No.
Winston. One of my favorite films of all time. I'm going to make you guys all go see it. So
Talk to me
Ben
about it
Kingsley,
today.
I believe actually Ben Kingsley might have won the Academy Award, or
He was
definitely
nominated for it.
He was definitely nominated. He's like, he's like a London gangster. He's like, yeah, you're gonna do this show. We're gonna do this thing. We're gonna come in here. We're gonna rob this place. It's gonna be great. They're all kind of older. One guy's retired. He pulls them back for this insane robbery. It's a crazy ass movie. I think it won best screenplay too. It's like so well written. One of my favorite films. It's one of those that it's like every time it's on, I go, well, there goes 2 hours. I got to watch it. Just this week, Paramount Plus made a show called Sexy Beast. It's a prequel. It takes all the characters and it goes back to when they were young men in London, in the gangs, trying to rob places. And it's magic. And there's so many Easter eggs. My one buddy he and I love this movie. We can go back. So I keep telling people, I go watch the movie, then go back and watch the prequel. But lately there's those movies where I'm watching stuff and my wife's like, really? You're watching this again? I go, yeah.
Oh man. I wonder if this is I can't say it's a gender thing because I think there's women watching there's
no, it's a gender thing. It's totally a gender thing.
No,
I believe it is actually.
Well, like different types of films.
Yeah, I would agree that it's different.
My wife, it depends on the holidays because she's like every Halloween I'm watching Hocus Pocus, or every Christmas I'm watching the Jim Carrey The Grinch. So there's like, and of course me, I love the classics, and I try to like have her watch some of these ones, and I had her watch It's a Wonderful Life, and she's like, and I'm like crying this movie. I love this movie so much, and she's like, oh, it's all right. I'm like, what? So yeah,
Mr. Potter, Mr. Potter, you're an I love
you're building alone. It's like it's Such a
Zazu
I know.
pedals. Zazu. He pulls the.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good.
But hey,
My
I
wife's
got
Love
to watch
Actually.
the first two Star Wars movies without too much push. So we're working on it.
Well, I
so.
bet you didn't like those though too much.
First one, just like,
Yeah.
and I should have asked her, and there were no redeeming qualities. Like no one spoke English in this whole movie. I was all beeps and whistles and stuff. So the next one, Empire Strikes Back, she's like, it was better than the first one, but I got annoyed with R2-D2. I'm like, okay, I'll take it. I know
It is better than the first one.
Yeah.
I think Empire is the best of them all.
Oh,
I'm not
That's
really
the
a
tough
Star
thing.
Wars guy, but I like it.
Jason, do you have a sitcom like I do? I have. Here's the thing I do. The from 1988 to 1998 was the sweetest spot in American sitcom television history. So I watch all of those shows over and over and over and over, like Seinfeld, Frasier, Cheers, all the way down to Just Shoot Me and News Radio.
Dude, News Radio was
great
so
show.
good. So
mean,
good.
Matthew, would you come in here for a second? I would like to talk to you. Dude, I think Bill McNeil is one of my, like, you can't even say the words Bill and McNeil in a row without sounding like Bill McNeil.
Bill McNeil.
Right.
That's so funny.
The episode
I
where
need to go back and watch that.
The episode where he quit smoking and Jimmy James comes in and sees that he's not smoking. He's in the booth reading like, today in the stock market, another downturn for the other end, and it's dipped below 4,000 for the first time in over 2 years. And Jimmy James goes, "What'd you do to the guy?" He's like, "Well, we asked him to quit smoking in the booth." "Oh, for God's sakes!" And he comes in, he lights a cigarette and puts it in his mouth, and he goes, "In other news, in entertainment, another film coming out."
Yeah.
It's just like,
He just kills it.
it's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Phil Hartman. It's crazy.
Dude.
Speaking of crazy marriages, Phil Hartman. So Taylor, your wife is May. So how's she doing? How's it going?
thankfully it's been good. I mean, like there was not like since the beginning there was no like sickness or anything like that. So I mean, just the typical stuff like her back's starting to hurt more and things like that. But
Are you rubbing her feet?
Yes. Well, and then I was I don't know why, I just have been a hankering for sweets. And that's not a euphemism, like brownies, chocolate chip cookies. That's what I wanted. And I don't know why I decided at 7 o'clock. That's what made me laugh. I was listening before I hopped on with the banana bread thing. And at 7 o'clock, my wife has a strict bedtime because she's a nurse practitioner. She's got to get up early, and she's the more of the breadwinner of the family, and I love it. She works her ass off. So she has early morning, and so strict bedtime. But I was at 7 o'clock, and we're getting into some of the Marvel Netflix shows, a little bit more darker Marvel stuff. So we're watching stuff, and at 7-ish, I was like, I'm really craving like some cookies or something. And she kind of like looks over at me like, "Do you want me to make cookies at this hour?" I was like, No, I'll go buy something. And then I was like, she looked at me like, I'm gonna make cookies. So I rubbed the shit out of her feet. So I gave her foot rubs, the back rubs.
Fair trade.
Yeah, for
Feet
those
for cookies.
Yeah, and it was good. But no, I'm trying to do all the foot rubs. I'm buying a lot of stuff for like her and the baby, like pregnancy ball. We got these little belly bud things to like play music for the baby because they, like Mozart, stuff like that. I want our son to take care of us when we're old. I don't know, become a genius. Who knows? So,
well, boys don't take care of you when you get old. Only girls do. Yeah. Boys leave. That's true. Sorry, Jason. I'm sorry about that.
No, my 8-year-old has told me he's never leaving.
Oh.
He'll leave just before you need help. He'll leave just when you're like, actually, I could use your help. He's like, no, I'm moving out. That's the end of that.
18's going to be rough for him because his ass on his 18th birthday is out of.
He'll be like, happy birthday and goodbye. It's
no. I have a marching band and a banner.
It's so funny to talk to Taylor because I remember that unbridled enthusiasm I had beforehand to be like, like I would laugh at people who would be like, dude, you have no idea what's coming up. Like, it's gonna be fine. Don't worry about it. And then I got into the throes of it, and I was like, oh, yeah, okay.
I
mean,
look back at the pictures of me before they came, and I had such hope, and you can see joy in my eyes.
dude, he was 6'2" before his kids
I
were
was.
born.
I actually
And now he's 5'4".
5'5", yeah.
5'5", yeah.
I should
5'5"
do a-
brown eyes.
You do it
Smile
before
like
and
the
after. It's
sunshine.
kind of like presidency when they go the 8 years. You see, like,
Well, here's the thing. That's why I still look like I'm in my 30s.
Yeah, because you don't have kids. Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah, we got it.
That's like,
Dude, you're gonna. This is awesome. Taylor's awesome, and you're gonna have to come back and check in after the baby's born and be like, dude, yeah. It's so funny that my wife was sick every single day of both pregnancies to the point where I couldn't eat in the house. The smell of my food would like flip her out, and she'd be like,
oh
"Yeah."
my God.
I remember I was eating in the backyard because I like sriracha sauce on my stuff, and she couldn't smell it. She would vomit. And so I would have to go sit in the backyard and eat dinner and then come back in the house. And then I remember we took, God, I don't even know where I got the mattress. I had a mattress and I stuck it behind the couch in the living room. You couldn't even see it if you walked into the room. It was like this like secret little couch secret bed behind the couch. And I would just like middle of the day, I would climb over the couch and fall onto the mattress and like try to sleep for like 2 hours and try to get my sleep. No, it's gonna be fine, Taylor. You're gonna
enjoy it, Taylor.
You're gonna really enjoy it. You're gonna really enjoy it. No, it's gonna be.
Hold on,
great.
real quick. Before I let Taylor go, Taylor.
yes.
So you guys, Taylor and I have like key phrases for each impression that we do over and over again. And
Hey, Autumn.
Autumn
Graham checking in.
Autumn, good to see him. One of them is the first time he made me laugh on the ship was he did his impressions and I was like, oh, I love that. And then he goes, what's your favorite impression? And in 2018.
That was 18.
18. 2018, I was like, my favorite impression that I do is Jeff Goldblum. Jeff Bridges.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't doing Jeff Goldblum back then. And he goes, he immediately, he doesn't go to Jeffrey the Dude Lebowski. He doesn't go to like Tron. He immediately goes to Iron Man. Iron Man.
Oh, would have gone to Tombstone.
Right?
Yeah.
Anywhere but Iron Man. And he pulls out the most random phrase. And so now every time I think of Taylor's impressions, I think of the one phrase. And since you guys love my Jeff Bridges, I'm going to have him say the phrase he says in Iron Man that he says all the time for me. Taylor, you know what it is.
Yeah. It's when he's yelling at this one scientist and he's
I know the quote already.
Yeah, he's like, Tony Stark was able to build this in a cave with a box of scraps. It's the only one. I don't know why. Just that one.
With a bunch of scraps, man.
Yeah.
He had that like the uncontrollable rage at the top. With why is Justin wearing sunglasses, Autumn? Because I was not expecting tonight's show, so I'm using a very bright LCD light in here. As you can see how bright this is.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's why. Anyway,
and I'm under the influence of cannabis, Autumn.
Okay. At least we're getting honest at this point.
I said the second part. You wouldn't allow me.
Autumn, please. It's Thursday.
It's Thursday, man.
Thursday night, man.
Tony Stark built this in a cave with a box of scraps.
My guess is that Justin had a white Russian or two.
That's what they called it. You mind if the dude does a J?
Yeah, be careful, man. There's a beverage here.
There's a beverage here, man.
Can you do what about Jeff Bridges like Thunderbolt and Lightfoot, like early young Jeff Bridges, like Rock what's the Last Picture Show, or
my God.
Jeff Bridges from what's the one where he's the murderer from Jagged Edge.
Yeah,
Jagged Edge. Oh, Jagged Edge was good.
Just get in the car.
Oh, that's The Vanishing.
Vanishing.
God. Dude, by the way, Jeff Bridges kills
Sandra Bullock.
kills Sandra Bullock, and then he also and actually in the original French film, he kills the dude. But in the American film, they let Kiefer Sutherland live. I think it's Kiefer Sutherland.
Please, just get in the car.
Right? Just get in the car. Just get in the car.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's the.
Just get in the car.
So Taylor, are you still are you doing the cruise ship still?
No, I've been done with cruise ships about five, since 2018. So yeah, about 5.
Well, I think cruise ships alone were done during the pandemic, but they're starting to make a comeback.
Yeah, no, I'm land based now for good, and I'm looking at some.
Once you have kids, like I've had people reach out to do cruise ships, and I go, I can't go away for 2 weeks, man, from the kids and stuff. But
That's
that's why I got off ships. I wanted to have a family. I just wanted more normalcy. And even if
are you super excited to have kids? I mean, I got up at 5 o'clock yesterday morning and made banana bread. Is that something that you want to pursue as a parent? What is your goal as a parent? Who's your role models as parents?
I would say
You've denied Doubtfire.
Oh dear, certainly she's a hip hop gonna can bebop, hip hop, a dance to your drop, a yo, make a wicked cup of cocoa.
No, honestly, seriously, are you telling me those kids had no effing idea that was their father?
Come on.
Especially it's a pretty big leap of faith, right?
Yeah.
They're like,
voice artist. Yeah. But really, like, was there a model parent? I mean, you had your dad, your stepdad, he's the greatest. I mean, are you modeling it after him?
I would say yes, but also more so like my one grandfather, my mom's father, who's passed now 17 years, and he was like, because he was really involved just as much like at an early age, because he had a father of 2 daughters, so like it was kind of like his like pseudo son, and I think for him, because he treated me not like a little kid, he was very different than most grandfathers, and I just feel like, and I think this is kind of why Justin and I are good friends, because of our base of movies and pop culture. My grandfather at an early age, for up until he passed, we always see movies. And instead of just being like, hey, what did you think of that one scene? He'd always say stuff like, so what do you think about that lighting? Or what was the director trying to do there? And I'm this little kid. He's talking to me like this. So I think it was how he talked to me like an adult, like a person, but he still had this
coolest adult. The coolest adult you'll ever know as a kid is the one who thought you or acted like you were an adult too.
Yeah.
Right.
It was the juxtaposition between that and we're in church and we just saw Mike Myers and SNL doing Sprockets, and he's making the face at me and I'm trying to be serious in church, and I'm
super funny.
So I think that was, I think him and, of course my mom, but definitely like kind of model what I want out of being a parent. So
what's funny is like everyone gives it. I have no advice, whatever, but I can tell you what I did in the same way that other people can tell you what they did. I talked to my kids like adults from minute one. And people would kind of give me grief. I never once was like, goo. I never did baby voice. I was like, hey, what's up, Chief? Like I would talk to a 1-year-old in their crib, like, hey, we got a great day. Like I talked to them like it was a dude at work a lot. And
what's interesting about that?
I don't know how it works, if it's going to work or not, but
I guarantee, Jamie, it will work. And here's why. Because later on, when a normal parent or a typical parent would change their voice to their deeper tone and their more adult tone, then the child would go, what changed? Right.
Maybe.
But if they have the 10 years of you never talking to them like a little infant, then they're like, this is always dad. This is always who he is. I know dad, like they will understand your temperament much better than maybe, like as somebody whose parents split up when they were 10, I watched them go from very childlike way of talking to me a lot to, all right, now it's time to wake up,
I'm honest to a fault, actually, where I say things that maybe I shouldn't say to kids, but I'm honest. I've said that to I'm always honest to a fault. And I'll like, my kid was doing something the other day. I go, come on, you're being a dick. You're being a dick. She's 10. I go, you're kind of, and she kind of gets it. And I go, you don't like it when somebody else does that to you and they're being a dick. And now you're being a dick. So let's all not be dicks. How about that?
It's okay to say it to them. Like,
to a 10-year-old.
Dude, that they'll remember that.
Maybe
My
they'll remember it
stepdad-
badly. Maybe they'll be in therapy. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Listen, you can
I don't
have
know.
both. I'm a well-adjusted man wearing sunglasses in his closet,
Listen.
but I also remember my stepdad. Like, one of the best pieces of advice he ever gave me is I was doing that know-it-all shit. Just talking about like I knew things at 14 or 15, and my stepdad said, "Listen, if you want to be thought of as smart, then when you don't for sure know the answer, start your opinion with, I'm not really sure. Maybe it's this." And you're going to sound so much smarter than what you're doing right now. And I remember being like, oh my God, how often do I sound like a know-it-all? I should just preface everything with, I don't know, but this is my meandering thought on it. And man, did that change a lot. Like that helps. That helps.
When I was in the Navy, I had a captain on a ship, and if you ever went to him and he asked you a question, you could never say, I don't know. The answer was never, I don't know. The answer was, I'll find out.
That's right.
He was very adamant. If you said, I don't know, he goes, that's the wrong answer. And then you go, I'm sorry, sir, I'll find out. And he goes, that's the right answer. Come back when you do.
That's right.
And I always appreciated that of like, listen, I tell my kids all the time, like Claire got upset today. She did the wrong. She didn't want to tell me she did the wrong homework. Apparently she did the wrong page. And so she got written up for it. She had to send a blue slip home, said Claire didn't do the homework. And she was really upset about giving it to me. I said, I have no problem with that. I'm not mad at you. She goes, I thought you'd be mad at me. Daddy, I thought you'd be mad. I go, I'm not mad at all. I go, that's an accident. Accidents happen. The only trick is to own it and say, I made a mistake, and go, how do I rectify this situation? As opposed to just like I go, listen, man, it is what it is. Nobody cares. Of course I want you to have good grades, and it is going to affect your grade. So the lesson is rectify this situation and then try next time to make sure you don't, learn, I do think that's a huge problem with our, country, is that nobody learns from their mistakes, like on the shoulders of giants, but yet we just keep
unfortunately,
that's historically, that's not just us. That's every society.
It's getting magnified. It's getting magnified.
Yeah,
it's getting magnified by the
magnified.
Leaders that we prop up and the people that we kind of like push.
People
to the
are
top.
so concerned with being in power that they're not trying to solve the problems. Even if they had, like, even nowadays where someone goes, I'm going to solve this problem. Somebody else goes, I solved that. They go, no, you're not solving it. I don't want it solved by you. I want to solve it.
Even if we're not talking about like people
specific people
of power, we're just talking about people of influence.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Then they'll be like, nah, I'm right. They're wrong. And you're like, got it. But again, that's kind of what we have promoted is hey, don't let anybody, there's a set. I like my most attractive thing in somebody is authenticity with a hint of humility.
You
That's
have to worry about someone who never has once gone, wow, I was wrong.
Right.
Anybody who's never said the words, wow, I guess, because I was saying my kids, and by the way, I'm right a lot. I've been on earth a long time. I really know a lot, but I tell my kids all the time, I go, hey, they go, are you right? I go, maybe. I go, I think I am, but honestly, I could be. Yes, we all could be wrong. Who knows anything anymore? That you have to have that humility of like,
it's freedom.
I think this. I'm basing this on this opinion because I've learned this and this and this, and it's not. I'm not just throwing shit at the wall. I'm basing this on something. But honestly, I could be wrong. Yeah, I could be wrong.
I'm wrong like 96% of the time. So my kids have a very low bar to understand.
They're like, whoa! It's Tuesday in November. He was right tonight. Lay's potato chips and chocolate ice cream are good. Thanks, Dad.
Once a year, I'm allowed to be right.
The one great thing about the internet is that you're not allowed on it unless you're right. So a lot of things.
Crap.
I saw some dude the other day railing against oatmeal. He's like, oatmeal is, people tell you it's healthy. It's not. I go, dude, what are you doing? Like, people are like crazy.
You know what's interesting? It's gotten to the point, Jamie, where you, just like you, I'm somebody who like gives a lot of thoughts a good run up the flagpole and be like, all right, I'll give it a shot, right?
Yeah.
It's getting to the point now, though, where there's so many people yelling at me, saying stuff like oatmeal's not good for you, that I actually subscribe to people on TikTok and Instagram who are just doctors or nutritionists who are going, a diet soda is not going to kill you. Oatmeal is fine. Matter of fact, fruit is good for you. What are they saying? Yeah, drink when you're thirsty. How about that? You know, like that basic stuff. And that's all I'm asking them for. And I'm returning to them to just be like, oh, because I need some common sense. And I'm giving
all
that
common
more
sense.
credence.
People are so stupid, dude. And humans are stupid. I used to do a bit about health, and I go, you know what the number one thing about health is? Do you know what the number? And people go like, what? I go, is it eat blueberries? Is it, it goes number one, in genetics.
Yeah.
Have better genetics. Yeah,
Yeah.
don't live under power lines. Drink a lot of water. Don't try heroin. But honestly, genetics is, we think we're an individual. We're part of a giant species that is being evolved to survive. And so there's going to be anomalies that are going to have cancer young, and people are going to get sick, and it's going to happen, but the species are moving on.
Yeah.
But we think it has nothing to do with us.
It's
a much bigger
going
picture.
the other direction.
Yeah.
We have so much guilt on ourselves as adults because we feel egocentric, like everything is because of us. But when you think about that and you're like, yeah, why did that 9-year-old get testicular cancer? And you're like, yeah, that's weird.
That's
it's not because they were smoking.
No.
Like,
no, it's
genetic.
Yeah. You do the best you can, I talk to my wife about this all the time because she worries about certain things. I go, you can't listen. At the end of the day, she keeps saying something bad's happening. I go, trust me, one day something bad is going to happen. This isn't it. This isn't the one to lose sleep over, man.
Has there ever been, I'm asking you three guys, has there ever been something that you were worried about and then that thing did happen? Because it's never been that way for me. What it has been is I was worried about this thing and this thing happened.
Yeah, I would say 99% doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But I always tell my wife, I go, she keeps saying, something's wrong. I go, one day you're going to be right. One day you are definitely going to be right. I don't think this is the case. I can't prove it. There's a 1 in a million chance that yes, a mountain lion could get you on a hike in running. Yes,
she'll wish that you went out and took care of that mountain.
It could happen. It could happen.
I heard a one of those motivational speakers. I can't remember his name now. Used to be on PBS all the time. But he'd say, if you're imagining that something bad is going to happen to you and you're vividly imagining it, and then you live a long life and that thing doesn't happen, you will have gotten to the end of your life and lived as if it did happen.
I agree.
And I was like, oh, snap. When he said that, I was like, oh, my God, the things that I was like poking myself for and looking for, I was like, don't do that, because you'll live this whole time as if you already have the thing that you're looking for.
So what's funny is Charlie says this, and I tell my kids this all the time. I go, listen, your body is
a wonderland.
Yes, says John Mayer about Jessica Simpson, but your body is also, it's the most amazing thing on earth. You think about what your body can overcome, and if you just get out of its way and let it do what it needs to do, if you give it the proper fuel, water, and sleep. Sleep is, I talk to my wife about this all the time. She goes, I didn't sleep very well. And I go, I know. Because this anxiety causes bad sleep, and bad sleep causes bad health. And then the bad health fulfills the dream of the anxiety that you had in the first place. The trick is, my wife, when she walks by and she goes, oh, I wish I could lay down. You can. You know that, right? You know you can lay down. No one's making you stand up. Lay down.
And then you just turn into Norm Macdonald there. Whoa, hey, hey, look here. Hey, I don't know, Kate. I don't know where you got this idea. Yeah, but
it's so true.
It turns out in order to take a nap, all you have to do is, and it's very complicated. So listen, Clanford. In order to take a nap, all you have to do is lay down. I know.
Arguably one of the greatest. He makes me laugh. So he had a bit. Maybe you can do it as him, but he had a bit about his buddy goes, hey, did you see that movie? And he goes, yeah, I did see that movie. He goes, why would I lie about that? Now I'm caught in this lie I can't get out of. He goes, I didn't see that movie. Now I'm caught in this. All I had to do was say no. It wasn't like it wasn't like I was a better person because I'd seen it. All I had to say was no, but now I'm trapped in this conversation. I can't get out of it.
Dude,
But it's in Norm's voice wandering.
Oh yeah, he said, and you'll love this because you guys are comedy buffs. He said the greatest joke in the world is one where the punchline is the setup. And if you think about that long and hard, you're gonna come across like, oh my God, that totally is, you know? And
It's like a Stephen Wright where they say the setup and then they just pause and go to the next joke, and you're like, oh wait, that was the joke, and you go, I got it.
yeah, because so for example, like I remember him explaining, it was in like a 90s interview, and he'd said, here's an example of this, you know. It turns out Lyle Lovett and Julia Roberts filed for divorce today. In the court filings, among reason for divorce, Julia Roberts wrote, I'm married to Lyle Lovett.
That's like his run of OJ jokes where he's the murderer. It was just like,
well, that does it. Murder is now legal in the state of California.
All right, listen, it's so funny, Taylor. We couldn't have been more blessed. You have to come back.
Yeah, that's awesome. You have to come back.
We've done this before, and we had people jump into the show, and we had to immediately go, no, you have to leave immediately.
Taylor's got a great podcast that I was lucky enough to be a guest on. He's an excellent host himself. And
dude, we'll do a podcast swap. Come and do ours, and we'll do yours, and we'll do swaps.
He's very good.
He's awesome.
Honestly,
Taylor.
Here's what's great about, not only is he fantastic as a funny guy and a host, but he's also got a baby coming.
I know.
So, I mean, when we started this, my kids were way younger, and now I'm kind of like, I guess, an old soul with an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old. Jason's got kids way younger, but we could use somebody who's like, because come May, my brother,
he's way younger than us. Yeah, he's still got the fresh face. Look, he's got like rose on his cheeks.
Not just that, but he's
that's
the hope I used to have in his eyes.
That's the filter. I did the filter, so that's why. So it was like,
wow,
you want to catch up because it's 11:30 where I'm at coming up, so I wanted to look fresher for you guys. So
right.
Plus he's using the backlight. We'll teach him how to front light this.
Yeah, listen. He's in Pennsylvania, so it's not.
Me too.
Dude, that's where Jason is. Jason's in Sayre. Where are you?
I'm in I'm in Cranberry Township, so I'm about 35 minutes north of Pittsburgh. So I'm about 3 hours from you. Yeah,
oh my gosh, that's
baseball.
We're gonna be in Sayre doing a show in November. You're coming out.
Oh,
we'll get Jay Check to drive back down with his wife. See if Jay's coming out again. When he drove down, our buddy drove down from Baltimore and made his wife come, and she was like, "What am I doing here?" She was like, so angry.
I was
and then
so
she got
honored,
food poisoning on the way home.
You could tell she was like, "I'm going to Mexico for this."
All right, listen.
Love you guys.
So we did this show basically tonight for our own parental mental health. Really, I texted both Justin and Jason at like 5:30 and said, "Hey, can we go live tonight, man? I gotta get some shit off my chest." And they're like, "Absolutely, man!" And so we fired it up. We were lucky enough to have Taylor come in. If you guys are watching this, thank you for tuning in. We normally do this every Tuesday, 7 p.m. live. In a few weeks, we're actually going to Patreon, so we only have a few weeks of live ones left here, and then we're gonna bring our core people with us and record the podcast that way.
The live shows we're going to be doing behind the Patreon wall so that we can take all the questions and focus on individual questions and really dive deep
and bring people into the show.
Absolutely.
I mean, that was kind of the part of the gag of like,
that's the idea,
because baby. It is so this whole show.
Yeah, baby.
It came out of the pandemic. We had a group of like 30 dudes on a Thursday night, and guys, I mean, they were like suicidal. Like, we're not going to get through this pandemic. And we had this kind of chat where guys were like, man, hanging on. We had our buddy Mix on, and we had Jay Check and all these guys in there. I ended up running my whole homeschooled special in there, like joke after joke, and they were like helping me kind of fine tune everything before I put the album together.
I miss those days.
I know. And so we're going to end up redoing that with Patreon and putting the podcast over there and get people to download it on our iTunes. So if you're listening to us on iTunes, be sure to subscribe. come check us out. We're on Facebook, YouTube. We're even live Instagram tonight, Twitch. We're live everywhere right now. We'll end up doing some occasional live shows here and there, but we're going to do this a few more weeks on Tuesday nights, and then we're going to start jumping up Patreon. So we're going to hit you guys up to come over. It'll be a little.
Jamie, we have a request
tiny
from
thing.
Charlie for one more impression.
Let's have the two of these crazy guys go off on their own little tangent and bring us home. And if you can, talk about why maybe people should or should not have children. Taylor and Justin.
Taylor, you want to pick one?
I'll go back to actually I'll do a Jay Baruchel because I got to practice that one. So
deep. That's a deep cut. I love it.
Yeah, it's great. I was Hiccup, and it was a great film, and Justin got to do that, so it's great. I don't know about being a dad, but can't really get Carl's Jr. at 3 a.m. with my pal Seth, so it's crazy. I love smoking weed, makes food taste better, makes so you got 2 for there. So.
2 great ones, man. That's great.
Yes. Let me, if I might, do a slight pas de bourrée into the essence of parenting, if I might. Yes, it is an art, not a science. So there is no correct answer. Sometimes we paint with light colors. Yes. Good boy, good girl, good person. Sometimes we paint with bad. No, bad. But I will tell you, in the end, the colors make a nice, a beautiful tapestry that is added by depth because of color. So don't worry about with the wrong ones. They're all the right ones.
I will say the one thing that Jeff Goldblum knows about parenting is that it is all chaos theory. It's just pure,
yes, it is chaos.
It's chaos. It's pure. You can put a child on your hand. You don't know where he's going to roll. He'll roll anywhere. He'll just go anywhere, and you don't. You think,
and you'll go and you'll be like, 3:30 is too early for the iPad.
Yeah, it is too early, and you'll go, why would the child put that drink a 1/4 inch from the edge of the table? Why wouldn't it go into the, and see, that'll haunt you, and we'll talk
because
about that.
they know how to manipulate the mind of an adult.
And that's what they do. Taylor, what's your podcast?
I co-host my buddy Chris. It's called the Parental Podcast. We couldn't find a name, so then we just stuck with that. So, but
you found one called the Potential Podcast. So it's always got potential.
Exactly.
I like how your Boston accent came out. That the Potential Podcast. There.
Hey, come on, guy! Don't be such a freaking hat on, Justin. You guys trying? Get some donkey and shut your mouth.
Potential Podcast. He's got great episodes up everywhere. Where can we find it, Taylor?
Dude, you can find it Spotify, Apple. You can go back to our first guest, Justin, was on there. We talked about his career. You could go to the deep cuts, and we do reviews, weekly reviews on the latest movies and shows and whatnot. So
we'll have to do some swapsies. Thank you, Taylor. Honestly, it's so funny. We do this, and sometimes we were blessed tonight. We love you, brother. You're coming back, man. It's super fun.
Yeah, for sure.
And especially with a baby coming in May. We wish you the best. If I were you, I would sleep. Honestly, if I were you, I would look now into getting an induced coma for the entire month of March, just to really get some rest.
Just come out.
If you could go into hyperspace where they just kind of zone you off like Planet of the Apes or something. That's about it. Thank you guys for tuning into our very random Thursday night Parental Mental Health Thursday. I hope you guys are doing okay. It's February, so you can have a cocktail now. And we're here every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Pacific time, 10 o'clock East Coast. Definitely find us on iTunes, The Parents Lounge. Do us a favor, subscribe, follow, review, share with your friends. If you know a parent who's really hanging on by a thread, I mean, that's the key here. Is we're really trying to help people there's a lot of parents not doing great. They could use a laugh and stuff. So, help your brother out and share. So that's it. Everybody else good? Jason?
Good night, everybody.
All right, we love you guys. We'll see you guys next time here on the Parents Lounge.